Okay.
Yeah.
So we are live. But I guess it's back. Yes. Okay, we are live.
The next on our agenda is the view and approve of the agenda, so could I have a motion to approve the agenda? I'll move. I'll second. Would you take roll?
Mrs. Leskowitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue?
Yes.
Mrs. Kiplinger?
Yes.
Mr. B?
Yes.
Now we'll go into public participation, Ms. Donahue.
Oh, thank you. We're talking now. Natalie, I thought she was calling you. Almost. How do I turn this on?
There's nothing.
It's on.
There's nothing. You're on.
My name is Donnie Hughes, 9360 South Main Road, Tip City, Ohio. I want to thank you, Jackie, for responding to my letter.
You're welcome.
I knew about this meeting last Wednesday. So I didn't know why, it could have been on Monday, so I could. During my two other meetings I had today. I want to thank you for all the work that you guys have been doing. Because being an outsider, never attending the meeting, I was so knowledgeable of my ignorance. Of what you guys did, and I'm sorry. I will also be your harshest critic and your best compliment. If you do something right, I will let the world know. If you do something wrong, bad thing, I will let you know. But I will do it. One. Praise I'll do it loud. Criticism will be silent. So thank you very much. And you are now hired?
Correct.
I should say, oh, welcome, Mr. Nunner.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
you. Thank you. All right, Ms. Donahue.
Okay, John Bean. You all know where I live. I don't have to say that. Okay, it's on tonight's agenda. The hiring of 3 admin positions. It's been a little hard to keep track, back and forth from the meetings. But I thought maybe there might be 4 tonight, so there's 3 tonight. Consideration. Okay, so back in March, I guess, Mr. Chrisman put a list out of about 7 admin positions. So with the 3 on the agenda tonight, that would make maybe 5 out of the 7 that's really being considered. I mean, there's been some that's already been. Correct. So just speaking, I thought there was going to be 4. So I'm going to try to take the numbers down a little bit. With the 3 supervisors' salary, that's going to be over $250K in salaries, with maybe another $40K in retirement, Medicare, maybe workman's comp, healthcare. That could be a minimum of $20,000-$30,000. I'm trying. I thought it was going to be 4. I'm trying to take the numbers down. Plus any other perks that they might have as far as supervisors. Everything together could be over $350K for these 3 new positions. So I thought it was going to be closer to maybe, 500, but this is for all future budgets going forward. And then I think you pick up some retirement and things like that, typically for the admins. So, what I feel is that maybe you haven't fully analyzed the situation This is nearly a 20% increase on more administration positions. And that's on top of the 5. That's on top of the ones that you've already added in the last 5 years. Plus every secretary will have another admin position now. For a school our size, I know Mr. Chrisman's future outlook plan, 5-year plan, whatever you call it. He had a wish list and he just threw it out there. And it looks like he's going to get about 5 out of 7 of those if you vote to okay the 3 tonight. I know his reasoning was looking to the future growth of the school, the students, things like that, but my belief is you don't build a road before you need it. And I just don't think you had the time to really analyze the salaries in these positions. And one of the things that the community wanted was fiscal responsibility. And we've been calling for that for a long time. And a lot of people think that we're top heavy on the admin. I know you've hired teachers and things like that, and that's great. Teachers got raises and everything, and that's great for them too. But for a school our size, on the thought that we might have this tremendous growth again, I don't think that this is just because we have the money and we're looking good, that you never know what the economy is. You don't go forward with that without, I just don't think you've had the time to analyze. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. And Mr. Crippen retiring threw a wrench in, I understand that. But I just don't think these 3 positions tonight, totaling that amount of money, is what the community voted for in November. And that was the main issue that we talked about as far as the school board going forward, their agenda. So I just want to, and the main one that I have a problem with is transportation. One that I just don't think that we justify that transportation. Because the things that was talked about during meetings and things was a school this size, maybe a new board coming in would look in to see if everybody's doing their job. And, you know, maybe not everybody's, I don't know, that's your job. But that is a question out there, is the admins that are already here, is everybody doing what they're supposed to be doing according to their job description? And maybe that should be done, assessed first before you go spending this money, just because we have it. I don't think we should spend it. So that's what I got to say about it. Thank you. And welcome.
Thank you. I will give you a call.
Okay.
And just, I don't usually comment on public participation, but there also are a couple of administrative positions that have left from not filling. So I mean, there's more to that story, but. You know,
Okay, I'm just going by what's on the agenda.
No,
There's 3 positions
No, I appreciate it, but
that I know you're voting on tonight, and that's my viewpoint and talking to some in the community.
right. But I mean, I would love to have that conversation with you as well. So, but thank you for the welcome. Good to be here.
Uh-huh.
Thanks.
Thank you. And then Mr. Scott Lawson.
Hi, I'm Scott Lawson, bus driver, former coach, former board member. Hey, welcome to Bethel.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Call me.
I will.
After Christmas time, we had some issues in the bus barn with what we got paid on field trips. So we started kind of organizing. After Christmas, we actually got in touch with Wayne and decided that the support staff here at Bethel might want to organize to have some clout in the things that were happening. We've always negotiated with the teachers and basically had the same contract as them. So we organized, interviewed, asked questions to different members of the custodial, the support staff, aides, bus drivers, and we went around and we finally got the yellow cards out. got them signed, took them to Columbus. And as soon as school was out, about the time school was out, they did send out ballots to everybody whose name was on the list and certified by Tina as possibilities for our enrollment into the union. I just wanted to announce today that minus one negative vote, we were a near unanimous yes. And the Serb Relations Board, SERB, up in Columbus, will be ratifying that at their meeting on the 24th of July.
Yeah.
So we will,
24th July.
yeah, so after that, we will be in contact and start working on our bylaws and things, and hopefully make a very smooth transition into the whole band. Just want to get into that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And that was all we have for full participation. And now you wanna go over the recommendation? You want to say anything, or you want me to answer that?
No, I mean, I just, we've got, under, certified section A, this employee certified personnel. I asked that approve one-year contracts for the following certificated staff for 24-25 school year. We went over all of these, pretty good length. Any question?
Then can I get a motion to approve one-year contracts for the following new certified staff? I'm sorry.
We separated that from the consent agenda, just so that you guys could vote on it separately. I guess that was a request, right?
Somebody asked that.
Yeah.
Not typically how we do it moving forward, but whatever you got.
Okay, and then second,
Also.
you take roll please.
Was that Miss Dunn? Yes. Mrs. Leskowitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue?
Yes.
Mrs. Kiplinger?
Yes.
Mr. B?
Yes. Okay, recommendations for certified classified advancement on the salary schedule. These are, we went over these. These are people moving up in steps or verification of hours that come in. We get the verifications, we update according to their collective bargaining agreement or contract. Oh yeah, classified, that's a new position. Like we talked about that earlier. We now got sixth grade wing in the old building. Lots more to do. That's a new position, so it's that'd be hired in the step for.
And so can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda? For advancement on salary schedules and classified personnel? Second. Take roll please. That's fine.
Leskowitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Leskowitz, Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue?
Yes.
Mrs. Kiplinger?
Yes.
Mr. B?
Yes. Okay, ask the board to employ certified personnel. This is Eric Marholler, the assistant principal at Bethel High School.
Can I get a motion to approve contracts for the following new administrators?
We're doing each
Just one.
separately.
Yeah, these are pulled out separate requests.
So.
So this is just the high school assistant. This one. Short.
So we could have put them in a consent agenda.
But they were asked me, somebody asked that.
Okay, yeah.
So
And. Well, second. And no discussion, any discussion? So.
I just want,
yes,
I mean, have some discussion.
Sure.
For the public, I mean, in general, I do want to thank you for taking the time to catch us up that you had caught up with the new potential employees and appreciate your time that you invested to get caught up with them and share that with us. Appreciate that. I also want to say that, I think these folks for agreeing to a 2-year contract versus 3, which just really started. I personally am a fan of 1, and because I just want the school to not have to assume that risk. When people move from jobs to jobs, you know, I feel that part of that falls on them. And just want to make sure that it's a good fit for the school and the students and the staff. And 2 years, I guess, is a middle of the road approach, but anyway, that's just where I'm coming from.
Sure.
And I also want to note that back in January, February, March, we talked as a board that we wanted to come together and put our strat plan together first before we move forward with any of these administrative positions. And there was effort made to get that jump started. And then I know things have happened along the way, but I just want to reflect that's where I am. We have not done our strat plan. This is not necessarily our vision. It was somebody else who's now left, but that doesn't mean that all things are bad. But I just want it noted that we have not done our due diligence from my perspective as a board to know that these are positions that we want to continue to move forward. I didn't get something I kept asking for. It's easy to say that you want a helper, you need an assistant, because who doesn't, right? Everybody does. What I asked for was, please let me know what is falling through the cracks so I can map that, so I can put more meat behind my vote. And I never did receive that. So tonight I'll be voting with that in mind. Just wanted to share that with everybody.
And when did you ask for all? Was that
February,
to Matt?
yes, as a group.
Okay.
February, March.
No, and I totally get it. Like I said, but I think, like we discussed earlier, Eric has a superintendent license. He can do other jobs as a district. He has a special ed license. He can do special ed. We do not have a special ed director or a curriculum director. And I'm on filling those positions. That's two less. That's about a quarter. That's $250,000 about you're not going to pay. So, and I think these guys can pick up the slack, and I think they'll do a very nice job of that. But I mean, I got here yesterday, but I did a lot of work last week behind the scenes.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I mean, I totally get it. I mean,
It's not necessarily about any of the candidates. It's
sure, and I'm sure they understand that as well.
the process where we come to. And the other piece of that I just want to note is that earlier discussions, we had decided we were kind of pausing on some of them, but they appeared on the, they were posted anyway. And we always said that, okay, well, if anything comes of them, to the board, this would be our right to, state our opinion, I guess.
Absolutely. And like I said, I mean, I told you, I think you've seen from tonight what we talked about. You're more informed. You've seen, appreciated and informed about what I told you. That's how I operate. I will talk to the community. I will talk to the board. Nobody will be left in the dark. Moving forward, I promise. I just haven't been here long enough to show you that. You don't know me, I don't know you, but we're gonna get along just fine, and it's gonna be a good year. But I understand what you're saying and totally appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
again, I appreciate you working hard to come up to speed to be ready for tonight.
We're here. We're full throttle.
And I agree with you on the strat plan. I've actually been pushing it since I got on the board, that should have been our first step that we had done. But I didn't realize that all that stuff takes so much time. But I think bottom line, with just even the strat plan that we have in place right now, the bottom line is still student achievement. And I don't know how we would get to student achievement right now without having this person, especially not having the special ed director and trying to find a replacement for that person and keeping up with all the stuff that has to happen for special ed. And I don't want that category, you call them added around, but I don't want that segment of our students to go by the wayside because we told them that we can't help them because we're waiting for a strat. That will take us 3 to 4 months. And we haven't even voted, so we wouldn't even be able to, we've already watched the videos for the strat plan. So we haven't even picked a company, so we'd have to wait until at minimum, our next meeting to discuss having a strat plan company do it. Then we'd have to get on their calendar, and then it would take them, 2, 3, 4 months to do the strat plan, and then we'd have to implement. So I guess where I'm coming from is I don't wanna wait that long to, take care of the academic portion that this will fulfill.
I mean, and too, like we talked about, you've got two administrative positions you won't fill. Right, you're hiring these three to hopefully, it will pick up some of that slack. But, you know, moving forward, I mean, from a, you know, just from day-to-day operations and discipline, things we talked about, I think it's just, like I said, it's up to you, and I'm gonna do everything I can with all the resources I've got at my disposal to make sure that you're all up to speed and staffed the way you need to be and not overstaffed. Again, you know, there's an assistant, and back to your comment, there's an assistant superintendent in the plan, right? You don't need a superintendent. I mean, there's lots of things there I don't think you need, you know, I mean, our superintendent kid, the district was 7,000 kids, I non-renewed assistant superintendent, I don't think I need it. I mean, 6.5 doesn't know, but my point being is, I'm not going to burden you with extra staff. Okay, I mean, I'm going to do what I think the Bible says, I'm not going to fill the other two administrative positions less. So I think they can pick up the slack. And I think that we'll be in the buildings, I think it makes sense. So,
Any other discussion? Can I get a motion to approve contracts for the following new administrators or?
Well, we already have a motion and section.
Oh, so, that's right, we're in the session.
Yeah.
My bad. All right. We
Discussion
can roll,
first.
please. Mrs. Leskowitz. It's on my sticky note too. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue,
No.
Mr. B,
yes.
Mrs. Kiplinger.
No.
Okay, I'll ask the board to employ certified personnel administration, Dylan Walker, assistant principal at Bethel Elementary School, 2-year contract.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Discussion? You take a roll, please.
Mrs. Leskowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue,
No.
Mr. B,
Yes.
Mrs. Kiplinger.
Yes.
Okay, ask the board to employ certified personnel administration, Jacob White, transportation supervisor, for our discussion.
Can I get a motion to approve the contract for Jacob White?
I'll second.
Any discussion? You take a roll, please.
Mrs. Leskowitz.
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue,
No.
Mr. B,
Yes.
Mrs. Kiplinger.
No.
All right, that's it for our meeting. So can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Second. Sorry to do it.
Which one, who am I second?
Butler.
Butler?
Butler.
Butler, okay, all right, roll. Mrs. Leskowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue,
Yes.
Mr. B,
Yes.
Mrs. Kiplinger.
Yes.
5:07:14 PM. That's pretty good.
In the record.
Yeah.